We are live.
Are we live on the YouTubes?
Yeah, because you know the YouTube takes the
Yeah,
fucking most.
yeah, you're gonna have to adjust that.
YouTube takes the most fucking time to pull it together.
Are you good?
Good time.
We got 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah, we
got 2 minutes for ourselves.
Shit,
I mean, YouTube is live, so if you're watching us on YouTube,
just give me a minute.
You
I
know.
just finished watching part 5, and you know there's a come down period after such a traumatic experience. So I'm actually happy I have these 2 minutes to pull my life together. You know, wipe the tears from my eyes as our baby girl Dominique got saved. That was crazy.
girl.
They called the cop.
Girl.
I was like, Dominique, check, don't know her mother. And Dominique's like, no, it wasn't me. I'm like, oh, this is crazy. Because Joyce Lynn can't survive on her own. You better stay in the court by yourself if you want to be in there. Okay. Dominique want to be with her mother.
Dominique wants to go home, y'all.
Oh my God.
Oh, I guess we can actually start going live on the other devices, right?
Yeah, let me go live here.
And checking the connection, and we're live.
Oh, let me go live on this Facebook thing.
Live on the Facebooks.
Surviving that nigga R. Kelly is a bastard, is a dickhead. Nigga needs to die, he needs to die. That nigga needs to die. R. Kelly needs to die. R. Kelly needs to die. Let me get on my
My phone isn't charging.
Oh my God.
My phone's gonna die.
Brandon, I wish I had another phone for you.
It's all good. It's all good.
Shit. Hold on, let me get you another charger.
First of all, I don't know, do we?
You say hi to all the people.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
Oh, this is the wrong way.
Hello.
How do I flip this?
You flip it the other way.
R. Kelly needs to die. R. Kelly needs to die. Die, R. Kelly, die. Let me get you charger.
Yeah, so she's running to grab my ear charger real quick.
Tell them that R. Kelly needs to die.
My phone is about to die. She feels very passionately. Her response is that R. Kelly needs to die. Hey y'all, hey. Hey y'all, hey. Internet, hurry up.
R. Kelly's gonna die.
Hopefully he's gonna go to jail.
R. Kelly's gonna die.
Alright, let's see.
You wanna do this?
Do you think it's gonna... And you wanna get down and do it? Because, you know,
No, I can't put my booty up in here.
on my back, you know. If I get down there...
Do it on here.
Do it on there. Let's see if it's gonna work. Sorry, y'all. We're just having a little technical
There's always
difficulty.
technical difficulties.
Cause my phone.
Here.
Hey y'all. Hey boo boo. What's going on? What's going on? Let's see if this is gonna work.
Y'all ready? Are you guys
Okay.
ready?
Okay. All right.
Who's ready?
All right. Let's do this. Let's welcome these mofo's. Let's go. Oh.
Brandon, come on, pull it together. If you guys don't know, it's me, your girl Antoinette, that bitch, my couch. This guy Brandon is Brandon Time Live. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, y'all. Happy New Year.
Before the shits ensue, I just would like to say a fucking hallelujah and an amen for our girl Centoya.
Oh yes, Centoya.
Because
it's a joyful moment, Centoya Brown. We can be thankful for that.
Black women today.
Okay. We can celebrate
Someone
that.
cared. Amen.
It's Centoya Brown. That's the joy. Okay. So now we just gotta jump right in.
Okay, so I was gonna let Brandon start this because I'm still coming down. I just got finished up with part 5 of Surviving R. Kelly, where it was very emotional and tears actually came out of my eyes tonight. And Brandon just started.
Okay, so this past weekend we've had our eyes opened to Robert Sylvester Kelly, whatever you know.
Sly.
So we all got to Sylvester the Fox. So we all got to sit down and actually open our eyes and see that this is not a joke. Right? For so long, we've all thought about R. Kelly pissing on the girls, watching the Boondocks, watching Dave Chappelle as a joke, and now we've had to sit down for 6 painful, excruciating hours to show us that this is not a joke. This is real fucking life. This is a systematic failure of black women and black girls.
It's so deep. It's so layered. It's It's disgusting, but let's dive in and let's get in where we fit in and let's just take it from the top, my dear, and let's start with our rest in peace, Aaliyah.
I think we definitely have to talk about Aaliyah and the revelation of what her life really was. For so long, we've had this story about Aaliyah's life as to, she was so wise beyond her years, and we've had this rose-colored lens in which we viewed her life, right? And then we sit down and we're watching this documentary, and I think all of our eyes were open to what her life really was. And I'm not saying this to negate any of her talent or any of the success or all the amazing things that Aaliyah did. But I think for the first time, a lot of us are actively realizing that Aaliyah was a victim of not just one predator, multiple predators around her.
Wow.
People who used her to get the money from her fame and her fortune by passing off her body.
Including her family.
Especially her family.
Including her family.
I just wanted to comment on the mom talking about how the father and her were at every event and every interview and every performance, but what did you wear to the wedding? Like, where were you at when they got married? Like, you know what I mean?
That was cute.
It's not cute. It's the reality. The reality is for a lot of this is a very harsh reality to face because
I think it was hard, and I think for me as well, I think that there was some time there where I had to really process from the victim side, this girl was molested and manipulated at such a young age, and then was thrusted into
the
stardom,
spotlight,
where once she was forced to be the song and dance pony show for her family, the breadwinner, and then again gets into another, just everything that was her life. So immediately I'm like, oh my God, she died at fucking 22, 21. Did she ever deal with what it was, the demon that was inside of her as it pertained to being fucking molested by R. Kelly?
And being groomed from the age of 12.
But because
to be surrounded by
15,
all of these grown men.
At 15, she really believed that she was in love with R. Kelly.
Absolutely. Head over heels in love. But that's what happens when a grown man takes a child and whispers in their ear and tells them that this is what love is. I have to call out people who say that Aaliyah is a hoe or that Aaliyah was reckless. Once again, she was a child, a baby. These are babies.
Okay, let's just start off by saying we're talking about Aaliyah, we're talking about R. Kelly, but anyone who is openly talking or having opinions about any of these people who survived R. Kelly and currently are them being hoes or being fast little girls, there's something wrong with you. I'm just saying right off the bat with that.
There's a level of damage, or it makes me question you as a person. Are you a predator? Are you somebody who's dangerous to be around children? My little girls, my little nieces, my little nephews? It makes me have to challenge those people, and you should be challenging those people. These people who are defending R. Kelly, who are saying they're just trying to take down black men, listen, I get it.
She was manipulated from day one, right?
Absolutely. And yes, she was a victim of multiple predators. It is a scary, scary, scary reality. But I think it's so important that her story is finally getting the light that it actually deserves instead of the manipulative stories that we've been told our whole lives.
But I think that goes to celebrity and Fantasyland, period, that everyone wants us to believe these fantasy-like stories about celebrities. Rather than...
I'm not feeling the story of victimhood we're placing upon her when she's not here to speak for herself. Appreciate the stance, but I'm uncomfortable calling others victims when they're not here to express their trauma themselves. Well, I think it's odd to not be able to stand in the knowledge that Aaliyah was a 12-year-old child thrown to the lion's den. Now, I get that maybe at some point as she reached her teens, her late teens, that she took more power and control over her life. But do you think that a 15-year-old cannot, in full conscious and knowledge, be in an actual relationship with an adult? And I know that there are people who were in relationships with adults when they were 15, but you were being abused, used, and utilized by a predator.
However grown you thought you was, and however grown Aaliyah thought she was.
And it's not to take away your experience, whether you enjoyed it or whether you didn't enjoy it. You made that decision.
But the facts are still there. The facts are there.
The facts are the facts.
I think that I respect your opinion because I come from a place of like letting dead people lay, like rest in peace. But the fact that her story is being able to be told, I think we need to fucking listen to actually what happened rather than hide behind this princess-like story of what was her life and letting her lay with that. Like, what was really going on actually? Like, what was really going on?
And one of the things that we should say is not that she was a victim, but she was a survivor. I agree with that.
No,
We're talking about, we should use the term survivor because it is called surviving R. Kelly. And a lot of these people did survive really, really traumatic, awful things. What are some other things?
I really like this part. No girl is fast enough to catch a man that doesn't like young girls. Let's be clear.
That's accurate. And I just want to let y'all know, I got notes on notes for days. So understand, we've got more to talk about. I just had to start off with Aaliyah because I feel like a lot of people are still very raw about this story for that very reason. A lot of people don't like the idea of their view of Aaliyah being changed.
They're rejecting it. I think that's why a lot of the rejection of the reality of what's been shown to us is because besides all these other no-name young black girls, you know, and black women, there's this, our princess, our girl Aaliyah, who lived and died as our wholesome hip-hop and R&B queen. And to think that she could be that, to be like that, to that have happened to her, but that should not take away from the story that she was victimized by R. Kelly. Like
that she survived R. Kelly.
That she survived it. None of that. R. Kelly preying on her doesn't take away anything that she actually was. This is just a part of it. And we should have more empathy about the woman that she actually was and was becoming, that she endured such a thing and survived. Like she didn't fall victim openly to drugs and other things. Like she was working hopefully through that, what that was for her. I mean,
I'm not excluding what Kelly did, but where were these young girls' parents? I think that's a very important part of the conversation. Like, I absolutely think we have to call to task not only the parents,
we call everyone to fucking task. Everyone's ass is getting dug into tonight. Facts on that.
They signed the marriage contract talking about the parents. Well, this is what I will say. As you watch that documentary, whether it had been Andrea's brother or Demetrius, who was, you know, R. Kelly's bodyguard and assistant.
Assistant.
You know, all of these people.
He was the worst for me, can I just say? Everything being like a nervous smile as he like literally was a part of all of this.
All of this.
I was just like, you should have probably just opted out of this.
First of all, I'm glad he said everything that he said, and I hope that somebody can in some way press charges against Demetrius Smith as a person who was a part of this, because he forged documents, he got false documents for a minor. Like, you're going to tell me that the statute of limitations happened to pass on that already? Like, this man vocalized that he allowed this to happen. There's so many adults who failed these girls. Like, and
I think this is an important one too, though. Her parents were in the same place our parents were when we lied about doing something. And I think but the only difference is that Aaliyah's parents were directly involved with making sure that she was making money for the family. And we were young kids lying to our parents, and our parents believed all of our lies when we was out acting scandalous, doing all the things that we were doing. But I think that the money aspect, the celebrity, the fame that went along with this is what makes it a little bit more disgusting and scary. I think that all of these parents in some way or in some way were selling their daughters out for an opportunity of some sort. Their
parents sold them out. I feel like so. One of the couples, the Savages, right? And I actually ended up watching this twice because I watched it, you know, with my sister and some other friends the second time around. When you rewatch this, pay attention to the Savages, right? And pay attention that Joycelyn, the mother of Joycelyn, some
people left with nothing, but there was hopes that they were going to get something.
Yeah, everybody goes into this expecting something. There's an idea of you're getting something at the end of this. But I just want to go say that Joycelyn doesn't say a single word in the interview process. It's her husband that speaks the entire time. And I think that speaks to a level of guilt. You understand what I'm saying? That means that when seeing those two people up on the screen talk about their daughter's situation,
Very
I
good point.
I am sorry, I don't mean to be judging or to be placing blame, but when I watch two people up there and I see the father speak, I see somebody who is running to protect themselves, and there's a person who is sitting here in agreement with you because that's your wife, but she knows that we push this agenda, we push our daughter to be around R. Kelly for the idea of her becoming famous and successful. At what point are we going to stop selling our little black girls for fame and money?
I'm just trying to figure it out.
You know what I mean? One of the things my sister said that I was like talking about this,
Yeah,
and she said this is the
Facts.
history of black girls and black women being
Okay.
sold out not just by white people, but by the black people around them, their parents, their family members, these little girls who are not being protected. And it's scary that it's going on this long, and it's really upsetting, I think, for us to sit back and think about when you first heard the article about R. Kelly having a sex cult, and most of us having the reaction of like, what? That's crazy, that's ridiculous, R. Kelly in a sex cult. But when you sit down and you sit through 6 hours of it and you see the pathology of all of it, it really changes your mind, I think.
I agree. I think for me, like, just to like bring it back literally all the way to like the first episode of was more of literally seeing how so many people were involved. So we touched base on the parents, a couple people, but this was the whole entire city of fucking Chicago.
Common knowledge.
Kenwood fucking High
Common
School.
knowledge.
The workers at the McDonald's that he was picking up the girls, like at producers, everyone.
I literally had a friend post a Facebook status how when she was in Chicago a couple years back, somebody was telling them, oh, this is where R. Kelly picks up the girls. And she's like, used to? No, picks up the girls. It's just common knowledge. How can you, as a basketball coach, right, be a part of the police force, right, see your student who you coach in basketball on a sex tape and testify and people don't believe you?
Shit's crazy. Like, it and then, okay, so then talking about he paid everyone off. Like,
what's the price of black girls' lives? What do they cost? How much? Because the nigga ain't that rich anymore, like, and he still seems to be getting away with a lot.
I think it's, I just really can't. I'm in shock. I'm just saying because if you guys just joined in, I'm still coming down from the fact that I was just watching, here we go. And Dame Dash and Jay-Z began to fall out beginning of the Best of Words tour album, and now the picture's falling into place.
His nickname was the Pied Piper. I mean, I think that's one of the things that he had an entire team. Ridiculous. He should have been checked when he was picking up girls at the mall in high school. The community failed. Exactly.
So
how does the community just say no? How does the community just turn a blind eye? And I think that shocked the hell out of me too. So are all these people accomplices at this point? I think we have to start considering like who is an accomplice, who is an accomplice to this, and
well, let's change the fucking conversation then about accountability.
Okay.
And, right? This is a fucking perfect segue for this. Like, are all of these people accomplices? In my eyes, fucking yes.
How are you not? How are you not
Yes.
an accomplice to this? When you first of all, accomplices, I need to know who the grayed out figure was. Because I'm almost 100% sure that that's a gay man, right? Or a trans woman, a man that's transitioned into a woman. Because whoever that was came in with a very toxic male mindset. When you sit here and say, oh, these hoes must be crazy.
He should have been checked with the video after the video was released. Yes, 100%.
Really, people were afraid to speak up against the bag. And and we are absolutely all accountable. We are all accountable. And I think that's something that we have to say, like, at this point, I don't understand how Demetrius Smith doesn't have a whole investigation going against him. Because he pretty much incriminated himself the entire documentary.
Who was that? Which one was that?
That was the one who held
assistant?
the personal assistant.
He should be in jail.
His whole team is absolutely accountable.
He should be in jail.
You know what I mean? Like,
Straight up.
I just can't fathom.
We are all accountable. We all failed.
I can't imagine
pulling it out across the board.
being a bodyguard and you marry my sister and you don't allow my sister to speak or breathe or be who she is and not hold you accountable.
He did say that he was Andrea's brother, right?
Yes, that's terrifying to me. Is the money that important? You're still playing the drum. You're his bass guitarist, and you saw him urinate in your daughter's mouth.
What? No.
Not Andrea. The Sparkles. Brother.
The dad?
That's what she said. Her dad is he's still strumming on the bass.
I don't know. This is a lot. It's like, I'm still kind of like trying to wrap my mind around all of it because it's so much.
Mm-hmm. Like, well, one of the things, hold on. I want to pull us back a little bit because we mentioned it very briefly, right? I want to talk about the people, right, who were young girls, right, dating grown men in high school, right, or even younger.
Oh, there's a question for you.
What's the question?
You think he would have spoken freely without protection from the law?
Well, as of right now, there are no charges being pressed against R. Kelly. There's no prosecutor that he sat down with to protect him. R. Kelly is not going to jail unless his victims testify. We got to help encourage these young girls to stand up against him. Absolutely. We have to stand up and stand in unison behind these girls and stop saying that they were ass.
So are we ready to have this conversation? My mom says, I was listening to Steve Harvey this morning, and he said if any of one of those females would have been white, it would have been a different story.
I think it would have been, right? But at this point, we are not here to call to task white people, right? We're here to call ourselves to task, right? Because we are the people that are still playing his music at the cookouts, right? We are the people that actively turned a blind eye to him urinating on a little girl. Mm-hmm. Some of y'all still got the tape sitting in your parents' house, okay? We are the ones that we're calling to task right now. I am understanding all the race problems. I understand that. I feel that because yes, if those were white girls, this would have probably been handled so much faster. But we sold our little baby girls up the river. We decided not to protect our black girls.
Facts. I'm here for all of that. It's all about the dollar bill. No one is going to do ish. Money will keep everyone hot. I honestly, for me, this is not one of the things that money could buy me. Mm-hmm. It's just not one of the things. I'm not fucking perfect, right? $1 might get me somewhere.
Go get me to do something.
But this is not one of those fucking things. Like, talk about like having a gut-wrenching feeling. I'm feeling like I'm watching some psycho-ass horror movie by watching this documentary. Like, sick to my whole entire stomach. Like, not even...
Unbelievable that this is even real life happening today. But when you have to look at the dates to say that this happened in May 11, 2018, this happened less than a year ago. Understand? Like, contextualize when this even happened. This was 9 months ago they were filming this. This girl is escaping from a hotel. This is 9 months ago.
The crazy part for me, though, is I feel like I've been living under a rock, right? So now it's all hitting me like a ton of fucking bricks, right? Aaliyah, I feel like maybe I was like too young to fully like understand it, and maybe even just the culture I was in, I didn't get it. The peeing video, I never understood that it was an underage girl. I just thought that R. Kelly was peeing on a woman, which was nasty and bad, but I never understood the full pedophilia behind it. And that part it hurts me so bad.
And even as he's transitioned into dealing with girls who are 17, 18, 19, right? And wait, but hear me out. It's still about taking somebody who is young and malleable and manipulating them to be the person that you want them to be through abuse and fear tactics. Like, everything that R. Kelly does is what manipulators and abusers do.
That's what hurts me about our community. We never go all the way to take care of our own.
We are somewhat at fault for knowing better years ago and ignoring it. Too many black families turn a blind eye to molestation within our own families, and Oh, and we are projecting that same energy. This is a cultural issue that is being shed to light. R. Kelly is our uncles, dads, brothers, and we gotta face that dark secret. What's crazy is R. Kelly is getting smarter. He's now getting girls when they're barely legal and allowing them to choose the dominator submissive lifestyle. Could you imagine your 17-year-old self making a decision that landed you there? Hell fucking no. Hell no. If I was doing what I was doing when I was 17, I wouldn't even be the person I am today. I couldn't even fathom doing what I was doing at 17. And let 17-year-old me decide my life for the next 10 years, that's crazy as hell. And that's a very good point, Avery. We do have to call to task everybody. Because like I said, we have these people who are friends and associates and family members who are saying, I don't really see the problem with R. Kelly. I don't really see the issue. Or it's not that bad. Or what about Hugh Hefner?
I think that there's a lot of conversations being had, especially by Black people, that are deflecting what's real in their own lives. Like, it's almost like, if I acknowledge R. Kelly, I have to acknowledge everything that happened in my life.
Yeah, I have to look in the mirror and deal with
my
your
yes, you have to recognize everything that's been happening in your life.
That story that you're telling about how you and some 12-year-old and you were a boy and she was a girl and she grabbed your dick and you guys had sex, baby boy, that's not how that's supposed to go.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry that your sexual conquest is abuse. Like, we have to start facing these demons and breaking these generational cycles.
Calling a spade a spade. Like, it is what it is. Like, that's just the reality of it. But I think what the problem is the shame. You know, with the shame that these labels have, right? So wait, like, oh my God, you kissed the whole pedophile? Like, oh my God, like, that guy liking me when I was that age and he was that age, like, not even wanting to take that on. Like, nah, I can't be having those. I
can't face that reality.
Like, he was older than me, but that wasn't what that was. Like, deal with these things head on, and I think that people aren't ready to do that. So they rather focus on, oh, this is about white Lifetime paying someone out and to making Black women be the sheep of what's going on. Like, what, man? Like, what are we actually even talking about? Like, why are we deflecting? Why are we having conversations and focusing on things that have nothing to do with what's been shown to us? Like, it's ridiculous. I got something.
So I got, how do you feel about R. Kelly and his brother being abused and how dark the cycle spun? It's a sad story all around, but F. R. Kelly. So, I mean, I absolutely think that understanding what happened to R. Kelly is tragic. What happened to his brothers is tragic. I don't think that the abuse that you experienced justifies you continuing the cycle of abuse. Obviously, you're not saying that. But I think that we've got to get past this super sympathetic culture that we have where we're always boo-hooing, shedding tears, and trying to protect everybody.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, at some point, we've got to say, you're a grown man.
Yep.
Right? You know that this is wrong because you're behaving in ways to show that you know that this is wrong. Like, I can't keep coming to defend you when you're not changing your behaviors. And, like, reality is although he's messing with older girls, he's still manipulating, still abusing, still doing really sick, dark things.
Okay. I didn't know if we were ready to start bringing it full circle, but we're going full circle on these things. So, but this is the shit that's happening now, in the past, and in the future, famous or not. We live in a fucked up world, and unfortunately, this is how shit is. It happens to all races. How do we change it? So now we know what's been outed. What's the suggestion as a community now?
I think we're all in the process of kind of trying to figure out what that is. There are certain people who have connections through federal prosecutors. Sunny Hostin, who is one of the hosts of The View, says that she's going to be reaching out to friends and different people to see what she can do to get the ball rolling in regards to getting some new charges brought against R. Kelly.
But besides even R. Kelly, I think that we could even talk about, like, our level, you know, like our people, because that's R. Kelly. Like, that's major. I mean, they've been protecting this guy. I think they are, as you said, I do believe that the reason for them putting this out there the way that they did is they're trying to bring justice for him.
Can I just, because I'm going to read this comment, because he knew what he was doing, and so did the young ladies. It was not right, but most of us still be stepping in the name of love. That's the truth. So this is what I'm going to say. I don't think any 17-year-old,
I didn't think the girls know.
I don't think any 17-year-old really knows what they're doing when they're dating somebody who is 10 years older than them, 15 years older than them. I just don't. And I actually genuinely believe that when there's that big of an age difference for you as an adult to want to date somebody that age, it to me it's troubling.
Yes.
So I will say that in the gay community, I have definitely messed around with 18-year-olds when I was probably 22, 23, right? But that's consensual. That's what those people seeking them. But I have not tried to pursue a relationship with those people.
No.
Because trying to pursue a relationship with an 18-year-old as a 23-year-old, it doesn't even make sense to me. I can barely watch TV with you. How can I be in a relationship?
Facts.
You understand what I'm saying?
But that even shows to like how they describe the relationships that he had with them, like them staying in rooms, like how he controls it, when they can speak, when they can eat. It's like, because you can't really fucking be on that kind of intellectual or romantic level with someone who is that fucking young.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Okay, I'm not gonna say it doesn't happen. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I think the first thing we could do is listen to our family members when they confide in us. Protect young girls and young boys. Pedophilia is not okay at any level. Let's start at home. I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. I'm like literally reading Twitter stories about people saying, you know,
how this is like
I had
confront their
a cousin. I had a stepbrother who was accused of molesting kids, but we brought them into my house and he molested me.
Did you see that? You posted that. Oh, he was one family member threw him out because he was about to get up on top of my cousin, and then my dad, you know, we're church people, we brought him in our house, and then every day when I got home from school, he raped me. I was like, Lord.
Talk to your children about what appropriate child-adult relationships are, for real, because you're honestly, I can't.
Gonna start at home.
I can't imagine, like I said, I can't imagine as a 15-year-old really trying to pursue a 25-year-old adult, 27-year-old old adult. Like,
but that comes from wanting that kind of relationship, comes from a lack at home or something that had happened that makes you feel like you're ready for something like that. So there's already a disconnect that's already in there. Like, to think that you would want that, because I lusted over or liked older guys, and I had friends who was like, fuck, like, my boyfriend's 16.
Yeah,
like,
that's a grown man. What am I going to do with a grown man?
That's too much for me. So I believe that definitely comes from already like a disconnect from within, from home, from communication. Like, there's a lack thereof already to even want to be in that mind space, to be seeking that out.
I think it's important that we have a cultural shift in the way that we talk about sexuality, in the way that we sexualize children. And in the way that we, you know, tell a young man that, you know, as a 10-year-old, if there's some 19-year-old woman,
I agree.
If you're a 19-year-old woman in front of you and you're a 10-year-old boy, you should be lusting after that. That's your ideal sex. That's what you should be going to do.
Because everything in society is over sexualized. I think that's a part of the issue.
It's absolutely over sexualization.
Everything.
Absolutely. Children are not allowed to be children.
No.
You know what I mean?
remember going to a model casting call, and they were like, the guy was like, you're too old. Mind you, I may have just cracked 30. He's like, you're too old. They want the teenagers now. So you got teenagers dressed up, barely half naked half the time, dressed a full face of grown woman makeup. So now this is what you want the ideal of beauty or the look to be when people are opening up magazines, to be lusting after young ass fucking girls rather than have a grown woman be there, right? It's sick, like how deep rooted it goes. It's so complex. It's so fucking layered. Like, because like we were saying earlier, we're all a part of this. You know, like because I was having a conversation at dinner, like, if we're gonna throw away R. Kelly, because I'm saying throw the whole nigga away, throw the catalog away, throw all the shit away. That's where I'm at. Who the fuck else are we throwing away though? Right? We got a lot of niggas to throw away.
I don't know about throwing away the catalog completely. I am still developing. Don't curse me out. Don't hate me. I have not found my concrete feelings in regards to his music and his catalog, because I still haven't dealt with, and I think I mentioned this in the post, what to do with Alice in Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland is one of my favorite books. It's one of my favorite Disney movies, cartoon and film. Like, I love Alice in Wonderland, but at the end of the day, it's a book written to seduce a 12-year-old. We know that historically that Lewis Carroll was a pedophile, that this was meant so he can basically marry this girl, right? Am I gonna get rid of this book? Am I gonna cut this out of my cultural love because the person that made this art was a pedophile? I don't know yet. I haven't made up my mind yet.
I made up mine. Y'all heard me. Y'all heard it here first. Throwing the whole nigga and the whole everything away.
You're a fool, but whatever. That's probably for me. 50 Cent garbage. I mean, I'm not defending him. This is what I'm saying. I'm not defending him. I'm not saying I'm about to put his music played during my wedding or at my barbecue. But I'm not gonna lie. I mean, every so often, if I were to be walking down the street,
because
I am conditioned. I'm sorry, y'all. Let me see you do. I'm sorry, like it's you. You know, and I have to get through it. I have to get through that.
Because you're conditioned.
I have to get through that.
Even if the shit would come on right now in your car, as you pulled out of here, you probably would tap your foot before you be like this. Oh,
goddamn R. Kelly. Not again, R. Kelly.
Like, we're conditioned.
I mean, Kodak, first of all, Kodak Black garbage. I am actively trying not to listen to his music.
What happened with Kodak Black?
Kodak Black has multiple accusations of domestic violence against him. Is it also a rape? He's got multiple things against him. So I don't have him. Remember right off the bat.
Though, like, where are we gonna take the stand, right? Because where I'm at with this R. Kelly thing, like, I'm gonna literally have to be throwing everyone away. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to enjoy anything.
Yeah, right. I said rape, Malika. Don't yell at me. I did say the rape. First of all, and we live in a world where people expect it to be protected instead of owning up. And I think that's in reference to. Oh, wait, no, don't do all the sides. Don't do that. No. I think that's really in reference to.
Say that again. So I can understand.
And we live in a world where people expect to be protected instead of owning up to it. Oh, maybe I have.
Hold on. We live in a society where women get raped and people ask, what was she wearing? We wild out here. We idolize famous people. Yeah. Like, it's what you're
my whole life dropped out, y'all.
Oh my god.
Lost alive, y'all.
It's always something.
My bad.
It's always something.
My ghetto laptop.
Oh my god.
Can we talk about how Bruce Kelly needs to stay in jail? How we cannot let him out of jail?
Sexual abuse, physical abuse. Do we draw the line on sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse only occasionally? Or only accusations are found guilty? What do you mean by that? I don't understand.
Well, I mean, I think that's a very important question when we talk about abuse in artists and what is the line and where do we start saying this is when we're gonna stop fucking with you? This is when we're gonna stop backing you. Is it gonna just be the sexual abuse? Is it gonna be the physical, emotional abuse that you also did? What is? I think we really have to call people
this is what I think. I think that as a society as a whole, the majority of us, hold on.
Wait, hold on. Do you know why Bruce went to jail? Because I don't know and I couldn't find it. Malika, let me know. Let me know if you found out. Does anybody know why Bruce went to jail? Because I couldn't find it online.
This is what I want to say back to where we're talking about drawing the line, right? I think that as a society as a whole, like when we were talking about was it the Savages when they were like, we saw that he had those, charges against him, but the court found him innocent. They didn't charge him with anything. I think as a society as a whole, we base it on the legal system, which we all know the legal system is a piece of fucking shit. Mm-hmm. So I don't understand why anyone would base anything on that. I'm all for basing it. I don't know, because that is hard because of the false accusations. So
I mean, but like at some point we've got to start believing people. You understand what I'm saying? And that's part of it. Like we were able to joke this off for so many years and laugh this off for so many years. At this point, we can't do that anymore. We can't continue to allow people to be predators and protect them and allow them to molest and rape our children and our grown women. Like more vulnerable people get taken in by people like R. Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And it really is our job to hold these people accountable and to protect
I
them.
think it was really important. With one of the psychologists that were on the commenting on the documentary saying that this has nothing to do with being weak. You know, like this is nothing to do with someone who's a weak, feeble-minded person. Like he used a lot of manipulation tricks on them. Even the strongest of them, you know, to be like, oh, these were young, weak people. Like, even there was grown women that were being manipulated by him.
Kitty quit her whole job.
Kitty quit her
She quit her whole job and moved to the other side of the country. Like, you gotta, I couldn't imagine doing that right now. Okay.
I mean, but my thing also is like, how much did him being R. Kelly play into this shit? You know, because if it was a regular old Tommy down the street, you know, would this really have been the case? Would Tommy have been able to like hold up a whole sex slave house with these manipulation tricks?
I mean, people do it all the time. People have, you know what I mean?
I'm just saying.
People have houses filled with women, multiple women who are abused and held hostage all the goddamn time.
True.
If you start Googling, you'll find how many women locked up in basements, locked up in houses, women who have had kids and then had kids, like those kids had kids with the same man who locked them up. Like,
yeah,
it's common. Women get taken and kidnapped and abused on a very regular basis.
Kidnapped and abused. When, you know, I don't want to talk for the young girls, but the women, the grown women, Kitty, she went there willingly.
Mm-hmm.
She willingly went into that, you know?
I think it's just a scary thought process that even someone who you would consider to be a well-formed adult, you know what I mean, has this person coming in and manipulating them and convincing them to do these things.
All he said we walked with OJ after the acquittal. Tommy and Larry getting away with it. Look, it's a lot, and I think that for me personally, I'm throwing R. Kelly away. Never to speak of him ever again. I will never say his name on this show for as long as I live. He will have another alias. I am so sickened and disgusted by all of this. Like, I don't know when I'll be better from this because it traumatizes me every day when I open my eyes thinking about how fucking disgusting this shit is. Like, it's scary. Like, I don't even know why anyone would want to do something like that.
So one of the things I wanted to mention was Craig Williams, the guy who was the music producer with the slick back hair. I felt he, like other men, were jealous or envious of the position that R. Kelly was in. It's why they continue to allow a lot of this behavior because they didn't see fault in it. They didn't see any real problems in his behavior because they actually thought, well, if I was in this position and I could have a bed in the studio and I could just be fucking some teenage girl,
I was walking through the studio and it was room after room of girls. I was like, what is he doing here? My nigga, that was how many years ago? Like, everyone's saying mum's the word until now. Like, you might as well have just always been quiet. I don't know. It's just upsetting. It really is. Grown ass men with whole ass daughters, like just turning a blind eye.
Okay, can we talk about? All right, let's talk about Azriel. All right, let's talk about the daughter.
Okay.
Whose parents brought her to the R. Kelly concert.
Oh my God!
Allow R. Kelly to pull her up on stage.
Oh my God!
And then pull her backstage.
Yes.
Where? Why do we think it's okay?
So first of all, we're starting with the fact that this was for the dad's birthday. Okay, so they still rocking with your boy.
Mm-hmm.
They're stepping in the name of love. They're doing it. This is the best thing that he could have had for his birthday. This is all, like, this is it. This is the thing. And now, in turn, he brings a 17-year-old daughter, which they had heard. This is what everyone's saying. We had heard about the things. Okay. And there she goes, straight like that. She's done.
Can I just read? Let me read these three comments real quick.
Let's do it.
He's a predator, but he also seems like a sociopath narcissist. They know how to pick their battles. I absolutely agree with that. And although he may not be able to read and write, R. Kelly has something going on in his head that allows him to be incredibly manipulative.
You don't need to read or write right
to be able to be a master manipulator.
No, you fucking don't.
But Robert thinks of himself as a savior to the young women by opening their minds to the sexual aspect of life, which is how he views his sister who molested him.
Oh,
that's the tea, y'all. That's the tea. Because we've been out, and when they talk about it the whole time, and they want to mention the family member that molested him, I absolutely believe it was his sister. I think it was his sister, the way he viewed her, the song that he wrote about her. Like,
is she dead?
Yeah, she is dead. He wrote "Braid My Hair" about her.
Oh wow, okay.
Yes, and I remember seeing
How
the
did
video.
she pass away?
Oh, I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
I don't. Wait, somebody fact check that because I'm pretty sure his sister's dead, but I don't think I made that up. I don't think.
How do we know for sure the sister molested him?
We don't, but I believe his sister
I
molested
believe it was
him.
the mom.
I believe it was his mother.
I think it was the mom. You said the mom or the sister?
I said the sister. I might have said the
it's the
mom.
sister.
I think it is the
It's the
sister.
Is that why she wanted to break?
Braid his hair, exactly. And when I remember watching that video and thinking, why? This song is about your sister, and you seem to be all up in her like space, and like it seems very weird and uncomfortable for me. I'm uncomfortable for it. No, her sister's alive. Oh no, it's the sister.
Wow.
I've gotta also say something. I want to talk about the hotel manager real quick.
Okay, let's talk about this because this is a good story. I feel
During episode 5,
Woo.
right?
Yes.
We get to watch
Brought me to tears.
Dominique's Great Escape, right?
Yes.
I found one of the really interesting, compelling parts of that. I only realized it the second time around. Is the behavior that the hotel manager exhibited.
Yep.
He first, when they went up to the room, right? He brought her up, right? He told her to stand to the side while she looked at the peephole. He waited for her to come to the door and open the door to then reveal the mom, right? After the mom leaves, he calls back upstairs to check on the girl, right? He talks to the girl, runs back out to get the mom, right? He does follow his protocol. He does follow the police report, right? But instead of telling the mom and the producer that they have to leave, they bring them into the office and he has some long drawn out conversation with them.
Mm-hmm.
Now understand, I watched this and I'm caping a little bit, but I appreciated someone who actually saw something, said something, and did something. Now by bringing the mom and the producer into his office, right? He bought them more time. And somehow, some way, that mom was able to make her way back into the hotel without having the cops called on her. Mm-hmm. Now, I just want to know what type of training he had and how other people can have that same type of training to when you see something and you see that somebody's coming to help, you know when to act. I just thought that was really powerful.
Well, I think then now this should be the segue into accountability then, because I think that even just okay, so you have a celebrity or whatever the case is, especially down in Beverly Hills, like there's a different level of non-disclosure, not giving out information that goes on there. And he was like, you want to surprise her? Like, we're going up. Mm-hmm. I was like, they're going up? And I was fucking shocked. I was like, they're literally going up. They're about to go up. And he saw the interaction between her. Mm-hmm. He knew that was not a fucking lie.
Yep.
He was that's her mother.
Yep.
They had to have some kind of conversation with him about why they were there, why there was cameras, what was going on. Like
something that moved him to be proactive.
She couldn't even watch it. It frustrates her. Don't watch it. I mean, I always tell people watch episodes 1 and 6. Like, don't, because it's sickening, actually. Like, I don't want anyone else to necessarily feel this pain. It's actually, like, very, very hard.
I'm just appreciative of the work that they went through, because as far as I'm concerned, this is something that really did a strong job of building up a case against R. Kelly. If somebody wants to build a case against R. Kelly, you have more than enough information, you have more than enough, leads to go off of. And at some point, we've got to start holding people accountable. And I'm telling you, there's got to be a way that Demetrius Smith can be held accountable, because he admitted to forging state documents and endangering a minor. How can he not go to jail, y'all? Okay, how can he not be held accountable? Like, all of these people need to be held accountable. I think when we talk about accountability, I think we have to start asking ourselves, how are we accountable, right, to other people who are being victimized at this moment in time? When you know somebody who is being molested or somebody who is in a situation where they're being molested or raped, what is your responsibility?
I want to read this though because her parents are denying it all, and I think that also is a big problem because the same thing as the little girl from the video
Mhm.
who did not want to speak out, and that is why he actually beat those charges. Robert is a victim. He was abused as a child. He was valid as an adult to never he
He is vowed as an adult to never be in a victim position again, and which is why he goes to extremes to be in a position of power. Because
you won't face prosecution now.
you won't face. I think we will see. I think we will see some form of.
I think something
of
gonna happen.
prosecution
That's
against
all
R.
I'm
Kelly.
saying. I think something gonna happen.
And I'm hopeful.
Not...
I'm hopeful, and I at least we're not laughing at it anymore. Okay, that's my biggest thing. We are not laughing. We are not joking.
We in this sphere right here are not necessarily laughing, but I think that there's still not enough people taking this as serious as it needs to be.
Okay. I don't know if I agree with that because I think now we have people who are changing their minds actively every day. People who aren't joking about it. People who the concept of R. Kelly having a sex cult is not a joke.
All over the internet.
Of course there is, but this is a much more serious conversation. This is a more serious conversation than we were having 2 years ago when the news first broke about him having a sex cult.
Yeah, the jokes are definitely leaning towards the side of being more like this is serious.
Yes.
But there's still jokes out there, and there's still people who believe that those girls are little hoes. There's still people that believe that they're having a
But
choice.
this is the thing about people.
There's still people
This is the
here
thing about people
fucking with R.
saying.
Kelly.
This is the thing about those people. It's the same as the people who happen to continue to be Trump supporters, who telling you that they'll vote for him again. They're showing you what their true colors are and who they really are.
Which
you
I
understand what I'm
agree with you,
saying?
that they
So
should
take
show
this time
themselves, yeah.
when these people are showing you themselves, you believe them. Okay, you believe what people are telling you and showing you. Don't question it. You know what I mean? When somebody comes to task to go defend R. Kelly, guess what? You're probably dealing with somebody who may be a survivor of sexual assault and may to a degree also be a predator. So maybe you should watch out for that person.
I agree with that. I agree with that 1,000,000%. That thankfully these people are speaking out in the way that they are. So we have
Take the knowledge. Pay
eyes on
attention.
them.
Look at the people that are defending and caping and standing up for R. Kelly. Because those are the people you need to watch out for. I get it. I'm a black man. I don't want black men to be held down. I don't want us to be oppressed. I want us to move forward. But I don't want to keep being put on the same level as a rapist, as a predator. You know what I mean? Like, if these are the people that we're defending, man, we got to find better people to defend.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with that. This is a lot. But I think it was, I mean, okay, to end it on the accountability and what is our role, I think that just to take a page out of the hotel clerk's book, if you feel in your heart and something doesn't seem right, like, you should act on that. Like, do not turn a blind eye to things like this. And I think that's the main thing to have taken away from the whole docuseries. There was too many people that turned blind fucking eyes here when this could have been shut down. You okay?
Can I read this post real quick?
You're good, man.
There was someone who mentioned that if R. Kelly was light-skinned and pretty, we wouldn't be tearing him down like we doing now. Come on now. Come on, y'all. I would delete that person too. Snip, 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 you got to go. You problematic. That's crazy as hell. Like, are you kidding me? Y'all are problematic, okay? Some of these people that we know are just so damn ignorant and problematic. It's scary. Good God. Oh my God. I can't. If he was light skinned and pretty. You know what? Y'all are some hurt little people. Y'all are hurt. I love your skin tone, baby. I hope you love yours too. You know what I mean? That is so fucking nuts to me. I also want to just mention yes man culture, sycophant culture, right? If you don't have people around you who are willing to challenge you, you're probably surrounded by yes men, and those are the people that you don't need in your life.
Jackson was what is he talking about? I know, I agree, and I think that for the most part, I mean, we all know when we have a yes person around us.
Mhm.
I think it's very, very clear. But there are certain people who need that.
But this is the danger of allowing these people to be primarily in your life. The people that won't challenge you, the people that will let you go down the darkest roads, the people that will read you the news wrong because they're your yes man and they don't want to hear the truth.
If nothing happens to him, we should, as a community, take care of each other and speak openly and let our children or anyone being molested know that they have support. I second that. I think that's beautiful.
So I think this is reference about space. You might be talking about Neil deGrasse Tyson. I know Neil deGrasse Tyson does have some accusations against him.
About what?
It's sexual. So I don't know them to the fullest detail just yet. It's been out
You see,
for a
I
little
gotta
bit.
throw everyone away every time. I'll throw them all away.
I mean, but that's what you gotta do.
Every
You
time.
know what I mean?
Every time. I'll create my own motherfucking entertainment. I just can't. I just cannot.
I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I don't want to have to keep canceling people,
I'm
muting
fine
people,
with canceling
deleting people, but I'm gonna do what I gotta do.
But the thing is here that these celebrities are motherfucking humans. They are humans. So when we put them on this idol godlike stance and they could do no motherfucking wrong. Like,
we elevate you.
that was just your whole neighbor. Like, he a regular dude. Like, this just happened to him. You think that mind and those sins get washed away? Like,
could you imagine sitting in your house 3 years ago and your 14-year-old daughter walks up to your 15-year-old daughter and says, "Yeah, Mom, I was just talking to R. Kelly on the phone." What the fuck would you do?
yo.
but
no, dead ass.
What the hell? Like,
Dead ass. But can we? I just really want to like touch base back on the two, Dominique and her friend. Like,
okay.
they, in my eyes, they like wanted to get into it, right? Or at least the one main girl. I forget who got out of it. The one with the wig. I'm sorry.
Geronda?
Geronda.
Don't talk about
I'm
Geronda's
sorry,
like that.
but she's like we talking to R. Kelly. Like, we got his number. We texted him. The mom was like, what? That was the mom who saved Dominique, thank God. But like, we texted him. She's like,
what the fuck are you texting?
Give me that number.
Man?
Give me that number. Like, her mom stepped in and did what she was supposed to do, but sometimes as teenagers, it's all experience. Like, sometimes it's not enough.
You know, this is something that you said the other day that really stuck out to me, though. If you're accustomed as a little girl to having the men at the bodega hit on you, your dad's friends hit on you, how are you going to react when R. Kelly comes to hit on you?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, sitting here talking about a flashback about you told me about a grown man who hit on you. And he was like, "Oh, I'm your dad's friend."
Oh my God, yes. I remember, because I was thinking about this driving, because I was like, I gotta tell this story. I had to have been either 8th or 9th grade, because that's when I used to like walk to my friend's house. It was a little bit of a far walk, but I could walk it. And one day, it was summer, sunny, and there was some guy like washing his car or maybe doing lawn work or something. And he was like, "Hey, like, I know your dad." And I'm like, because my dad fucking know everybody, right? So I'm like, he probably do know my dad. But he like, "Girl, but the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice." And I just remember thinking like, he did just start off that whole thing off when he knew my dad, right? Like, I didn't know what he was hinting at by that, or why he even felt like that was something that he needed to be saying in reference. I didn't get it. Like, I mean, I thank God I was in that right space and not to go over like, "You washing your car?"
You know my daddy?
My dad, but I was just kind of like, "Oh, okay." You know, and kept it pushing. But it was just like, it was very, very weird. But that statement was indicative of some underlying bad thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying.
So,
underlying bad
if
thoughts.
you're used to all these other men...
Potential underlying bad behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Because the behavior starts at those words.
Yes.
Starts
Yes.
at those words.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be a touch yet. It doesn't have to be anything yet. It started.
Well,
at
it's
the
fishing.
words.
It's fishing because the words are me throwing out feelers to see, are you gonna bite? Are you gonna bite if I say these things? Are you gonna come over and talk to me? If I say this to you again the next time that I see you, are you gonna come inside and chill with me?
Yeah,
are you
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
let me touch
yeah.
you the next time?
Mhm.
Like it's all about this. And some Susie said, where pedophilia is supported within the community, it's so fucking sad. It is really sad. It's really, really sad. You know, but we have to call people to task. Like, we have to start saying to our little girls and our little boys that you don't need to be worried about no grown man, no grown woman looking at you, because that's not right.
Nope.
A grown man or a grown woman that looks at you that way.
I tell my daughter all the time, I'm like this. Look, you're beautiful, like grown people. Like, you better watch out for them. I was like, you gotta make sure you have your eyes open, like paying attention to grown people all the time, because I fucking know these people. Like, they're fucking disgusting.
And it's wild because the tradition of telling little girls that they can't wear shorts or tank tops when certain men come over is sickening. You're not allowed in my house.
Like, don't put some
You're
clothes
not
on.
in my
You're
house.
like totally at home chilling, but you gotta tell your whole kid, go put some clothes on, because you don't want anyone there getting
Ogling
the wrong
at your little kid.
idea. Oh my god, I got 48 minutes on over here. I'm ending this live over here.
We're gonna end it?
I'm ending this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on Thursday.
Are you into just this one, or are we ending all of
I'm
them?
in all these fucking
Oh,
lives.
I guess we ended all of them.
tired.
I'm tired too. I'm
R.
tired.
Kelly.
It's been.
Can we vow to bring justice to these people and then just like end this R. Kelly stuff, please? For me, I'm not fucking with none of y'all.
Let's end R. Kelly, but let's keep this conversation going and let's keep this energy going in 2019.
Yes.
Let's keep this going in for the rest of the year and years to come, because we gotta really start getting rid of this shit. We gotta start breaking these cycles. Like, we can't keep going around fucking being in a room with people and you know 70%
But this
of
is
them
so
have been
important
molested.
about talking about, did I tell my dad about that? I didn't tell my dad about that. And that's also a part of the conversation. It's not feeling comfortable, being scared of maybe I'm gonna get in trouble now.
Not being shamed, not being called fast because some grown man is hitting on you.
It's a lot. And to think that if my dad probably would have never reacted that way, but that's just the mentality of the child, you know, to think like, I'm gonna somehow be in trouble for this, you know?
But even still, we've got to realize that the things we say and the words that we say, our kids pay attention to. Your kids are listening. So when you're having a conversation
Cancel everybody.
and you're calling a girl fast, remember that your daughter might be hearing that your son will be hearing you say that. So remember that even when you're judging somebody and your child is around, they're hearing that. And that's actively shaping the decisions and the ways that they speak to you and talk to you. So you gotta be cognizant of that.
I love that.
Oh yes, the tea was scalding. It was fiery hot.
Yes. We love you guys. Thank you for another hour on live.
Beloveds, thank you for joining.
Yes. Thanks for being a part of the conversation, and we'll see you guys on Thursday.
We'll be back Thursday.
Bye, guys. Have a good night. Sleep easy.
Sleep easy. Let's not think about R. Kelly, okay?
Don't be sick anymore. Bye, guys.
I guess we gotta stop stepping in the name of love.
Enough with the shit, Brandon. I'm done. He's canceled.
No more trapped in the closet.
No. Then I get canceled. He canceled. I think it was a great live. Do you feel like we could? Do you like the live?
Oh, I loved it.
Okay.
I lost
Your
one of my
live was-
lives.
You did?
Yes.
It didn't do it?
The first part I lost.
Oh my god. Fuck. Brandon, why are you always losing your live? I wish I would have talked about. Have you seen?
Oh
that?
no, it didn't delete. It
Is
didn't
it-
delete.
is there?
Hallelujah.
Is there?
Yes.
Okay.
130 views.
Amen. A motherfucking man. We out here. We whole out here.
130. Oh Lord.
Hey.
We was busy tonight.
Yes, we was. Let me see. Christina was the name for that live. I think she has some deep scars. Oh, some fucking babies. It's okay.
It doesn't matter because your Instas were popping.
I think we met before.
Who the hell is Craig Wimberly?
He's a customer. And he's married, but he doesn't know me.
Shout out to the brother for speaking facts. Thank you. I know. I'll be speaking of facts.
Oh my god, but now we gotta figure out what the fuck we're talking about.
Thursday? There's definitely gotta be stuff for us to talk about.
We gotta lighten it up, hopefully. We gotta lighten it up.
Can we just do like housewives and ratchet shit on Thursday?
Yeah, let's do it, please, Brandon. Because I can't deal with this anymore. It's just taking over my life. I'm not even watching the rest of part 6, like the first half that I missed. It's just too sickening, all of this. It just really is.
I love everybody for watching.
Let me see. Let me share. You both your lives are there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Oh, you named your live? I forgot to name mine.
We did that.
Hey, we live, hey.
Oh, we still live on YouTube and shit. Y'all got to see us being exceptionally ghetto.
This is why Davian's supposed to be here to help us with our lives. Shit.